These guys just broke into my car in San Francisco and stole my backpack. But what they'll soon find out is that thanks to some high-tech glitter and fart spray delivery mechanisms, that's no ordinary backpack.
Ain't nobody back there, right?
And this guy's also trying to break into my car, but what he doesn't realize is those are bulletproof windows, because that's just funny. Every year, 20,000 cars are broken into in the city of San Francisco. But who's behind all these break-ins? Like, is it organized crime or gangs or just random individuals? And then what happens to all the stuff that they steal? Well, just like when we use the power of glitter to infiltrate and shut down those terrible scam call centers in India, I'm happy to report that having teamed up with a veteran investigative reporter and gotten our bait car broken into 25 separate occasions over the past 8 months, we now have a much clearer picture of what's going on and even some thoughts on how to stop it. And as this video is the conclusive finale to the whole Glitter Bomb series, this time for reals, I'm so happy to report that we finally got some really good reactions to that perfectly harmless, yet wretchedly abhorrent fart spray, including one that's not too far off from Macaulay Culkin's here. Now, if you haven't seen any of my other Glitter Bomb videos, the 15-second recap is that 5 years ago, these two took a package from my porch, which inspired me to combine my engineering skills with my Christmas time affinity for Kevin McAllister. And that not only led to different versions of Glitter Bomb bait packages that would spin, spray, flash, stick, punch, or fly, but it eventually led us over to India, where we ended up infiltrating, then shutting down 5 of those terrible scam call centers. But Mark, you object. You said last year was the final Glitter Bomb, and that was true. Until earlier this year, I had the unfortunate realization that glitter and fart spray hadn't solved all forms of crime worldwide when my own car was broken into. I'm missing a window. Not cool, San Francisco. Not cool. That also made me realize our 11th hour cobbled together car package last year never got enough footage to uncover who was actually behind all the San Francisco car break-ins. So 10 months ago, for one final time, we completely redesigned the Glitter Bomb from the ground up, only this time it would be custom built just for cars. For starters, instead of using centrifugal force to fire the glitter, this year we'd be using 900 psi of compressed gas. Because if you take a CO2 bike tire inflator and attach a pipe to the outlet, then connect a high torque servo motor to the opening valve, and then repeat that configuration and stack them on top of each other, well then when you load those pipes with copious amounts of biodegradable glitter and fart spray, and then trigger the servo motors, that highly compressed CO2 is gonna very quickly push out anything in the pipe that gets in its way. At the core, we still have a custom printed circuit board that will make all the decisions for the device, in addition to talking to us via a two-way cellular connection. Then we slap on a car horn for good measure and place that whole compact form factor into the base of a custom sewn backpack with external access to the outlet nozzles. Like in years past, we'll still capture footage using a pair of phones that get tucked into the sides, with the added benefit of serving as the backpack GPS and the speakers for the countdown timer. Finally, we lock up the bottom compartment to prevent tampering, then use a rubber stopper glued to a patch to plug and conceal the outlets. Then as a decoy to divert suspicion, we got some clothes and a bunch of old non-functional laptops to place in each bag. We also created a second version with a suitcase form factor and identical guts in case word got out about the backpacks. Then the car itself has 8 hidden dash cams, all powered by a 2,000 watt-hour camping battery in the trunk that also plugs into the backpack with 2 barrel jacks. One to keep the entire device and both phones at 100% charge until stolen, and the other to serve sort of as a digital tripwire, so the backpack knows exactly when it was stolen to initiate the stolen bag protocol. We also served up 2 more surprises this year by first creating a bait car with impossible to break polycarbonate windows, which is the same stuff bulletproof glass is made of. That car also has the added benefit of a microphone in the trunk for detecting when someone's trying to break the window, which will of course release the air in this tank, triggering this pneumatic piston with a special surprise on the end. And as a final idea, we took an actual gaming laptop, removed the extra fan, and in its place added a GPS tracker that would continuously stay charged by using the laptop battery. That way we'd always know where it was, even if they wiped the hard drive. The thought here was to put that laptop in a backpack to actually get stolen with no glitter involved. And then with the help of Dan Noyes, who spent 30 years as the chief investigative journalist for the San Francisco ABC 7 News team, we could trace the laptop's footsteps to try and get some answers. So after a couple of months of designing, testing, and building, we put them out in a few different cars, and we waited. And we didn't have to wait long. But before I subject you to gratuitous amounts of broken glass, I'm gonna start off with a little broken glass of my own. 3, 2, 1. Nice shot, Eloise. I'm Mark Rober, and for over a decade, I've been making YouTube videos to showcase what it means to think like an engineer. But what exactly does that mean? You ready? Whoa. Thoughts?
Probably less catalyst.
Good call. It means you know failure's part of the process. It's how you learn. And thinking this way makes you a better soccer player or piano practicer because you're resilient and you keep tweaking and trying until you get it right. Or you can just come up with a totally different solution. Because if you think like an engineer, you think differently. And that unlocks creative new ways to have fun. And that's exactly why I created Crunch Labs, where you get a super fun toy that gets delivered to your porch every month.
Thanks, Mark Rover.
You're gonna love that one, Sarah. See you next month. And then you put it together with me as I teach you all the juicy physics that make them work. So if you want to train your brain to see the world in a whole new light while having a ton of fun at the same time, just go to crunchlabs.com right now and reserve yours. You nailed it, Gabe. Out of the gate, it was pretty clear if our goal was to find out who was behind all these car break-ins, they were going to do everything in their power to not be found out. But the advantage of teaming up with an 18-time Emmy Award-winning investigative journalist is that when one of our 8 cameras catches these guys nearly causing an accident, we can play it back so Dan can run their license plate, which must be precisely why they'd removed their license plate. Thankfully, on our third break-in, our luck improved. And this time, we struck pay dirt. Because once Dan ran the license plate, he made a shocking discovery. Turns out, this car belonged to a longtime SF State College professor who also sits on the board of a prestigious Oakland charter school. And so like any good investigative journalist, Dan found his home address and showed up to confront him. Except he turned out to be a really nice guy who informed us that his license plate was stolen from his car a few weeks prior. And what Dan would eventually learn on nearly all the other license plates he would run over the course of our operation is that not only do the thieves commonly drive around with stolen license plates,
We got Georgia plates.
but they tend to steal from a similar color and model as their own vehicle to avoid an obvious mismatch. So the car thieves showed they could handle our cameras and investigative techniques, but now the question was, how would they handle a little bit of harmless glitter? Spoiler alert, not very well.